matter how good you are, that's the advantage right there. And you say I dominated on my one by total of, I think, 1100 between the two training runs, so it's not dominated, but the race from the last jump to the finish here, over the course of 2 hours, the weather completely changes. You'll see that it doesn't matter how good you are, it's just a matter of where you start. I think both races there I was happy with the way I skied, and
is on course.
if I look back, I wouldn't change the way I skied over the weekend. I mean, I skied all the training runs, I prepared, I skied well in the race. I beat the guys around me, but that's not enough when the early guys are skiing well, and they have that little bit of advantage of the early start numbers and the weather. So there's nothing you can do to avoid that happening, except if you're on a more difficult course, then the weather plays a factor of maybe 5-6 tenths maybe, and the skill of the racer plays a factor of in some cases 2.5-3 seconds. So you can easily overcome a deficit like that if the course is very challenging or really long and difficult. So I don't think there's anything to really do except prepare the same way.
What is your main goal this week in the
I don't really worry too much about it. I mean, try to enjoy it. It's a busy week for me, but this is one of my favorite hills. It's really a pleasure to ski at any time. That's why
Klaus Kroll to the finish line.
To back off.
45.19 for big number 14.
You never know how many times I get
19 for Klaus Kroll of Austria. Werner Hiel is on course for big number 15. And at the start, big number 16, Askeland Svindal of Norway. Svindal of Norway at the start.
What do you say about the comeback of Herman Meyer?
Is on course.
A surprise for you, or did you expect it already?
No, I made some money on Herman. No, I mean I'm one of the Herman supporters who, when he switched ahead, I was excited. I thought it would give him a new energy, some new chance to win races. I mean, I don't have any question in my mind that he can win races. I think he could win races in every discipline he's won them in. I mean, GS also. So it looks like it's far away sometimes when you see him ski the way he skied in Solden, but you also have to remember you're talking about Herman Meyer. He's been the most dominant racer of my generation, so I don't think you have to really question where his abilities at. It's just a matter of if he gets his heart and his mind in the right place and wants to win. So, the way he dominated Super G when I was first coming out of the World Cup, I wasn't surprised to see him win the Super G. He can ski at a totally different level sometimes if he gets it together. So I was disappointed that I didn't get to the finish line.
What has made it such a great race?
Svindal yet to start.
His strength, his mind, his feel for the snow, obviously the combination. But what jumps out at you?
His biggest asset is his mind. It was his mind. I mean, now it's hard to say. I think it's just a natural progression as you get older. You lose a little bit of the fire. You lose a little bit of that desire to prove yourself or to really, want to do to push the envelope and really go crazy. And when Herman was at his best, he was completely asking different things of himself as a racer than anyone else in the race was. I mean, he was in the start house. He was demanding that he do something that was so far beyond what everyone else was even trying to do, that even if he only did 80% of what he was asking himself to do, he was still miles ahead of the rest of the field, even if they did 100% of what they were asking. So, I think his mind, his ability to ask that of himself and not be shy of making mistakes, or his confidence in his ability was huge. And that does naturally change as you get older. You get better, you take less risk because you know more about tactics, but when you take less risk, sometimes that kind of mitigates your aggression. You feel like you're really pushing.
How much have you trained in downhill this last summer?
One day.
Why?
I don't think downhill training is very useful. It's impossible to mimic a race, so you might as well go into a wind tunnel and just tuck for a while, or ski Super G. I mean, unless you're going to train to prepare yourself to race a downhill, I don't think there's any reason to call it downhill training. I mean, I skied Super G. I got some speed and some wind in my face and hit a couple jumps, but the only time I put downhill skis on was in Nikiska right before Lake Louise, and then you take the training runs. But if you're confident with your equipment, you really don't need, especially at my age. I've run all these courses so many times that it's pretty standard to just come in.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.